What is up, guys? Hazy Ames here with another YouTube video. And tonight I'm going to be talking about Diablo 4 Season 2, Season of Blood, with all the vampire greatness that it is. Just going to kind of get right into it. I do think that Season 2 is a ton better than what Season 1 had to offer. I wasn't a huge fan of the Malignants and the way the Malignant powers worked, taking up sockets. I do like how now I do have my sockets free to socket them as I please with the gems, and now the vampiric packs that you need to activate your powers here are just on your gear. Here you can see packs granted, and you can pin those per se on your armors and cleanse them to get rid of them and pin some new ones. I think they did a good job with vampiric powers. I honestly like the way that a lot of the powers work. They're fun and interesting and adds a little more flavor to the game. And I like the way that they work as well with this says ferocity. I call this a crown, a chalice, and a skull. It's easier for me to remember than a ferocity, divinity, and eternity. But anyways, yeah, I think the Season 2 is pretty good so far. Like I said, I like the vampiric powers. It adds more flavor, adds some variety to the builds. Granted, a lot of meta builds will be going the same vampiric powers. I do have quite a bit of time in Season 2. I have this character who I just hit 50 last night. I also have a hardcore druid that I play with a buddy who's level 33 or 34. I actually almost died last night on my hardcore character. That would have been very sad. But yeah, having a lot of fun in hardcore and softcore, which is my necro here. I am looking forward to seeing the in-game bosses that they've put in, like Duriel. I forget the names of the other two. One looks like the Skeleton King. Another one, looks like some ice demon monster. I'm really excited to see Duriel because I was a huge Diablo 2 fan, so I want to see their rendition of Duriel. I think they did a good job with Andariel in the main campaign story, and I hope they do a good job with him. I haven't watched any videos on purpose because I wanted to experience it firsthand without any spoilers. With that said, I mean, guys, this still is Diablo 4. So if you hated the game on release, you're probably still not going to care for it a whole lot. It does still play like it did when it released. Granted, they have made some changes skill-wise. They've increased the percentage of experience you get from doing things. They made the leveling experience a little less sluggish, which is good. Everything that they're doing to the game is to essentially streamline things a little bit and make things not so mundane and make it so you can do things faster. I like the changes they made to the cities, where there's a stash in most cities or every city. There's also blacksmiths everywhere. Things like that honestly should have been in the release. The horse is a ton better. That should have also been done on release. But I mean, overall, I'm having a good time. Honestly, I'll probably get this guy to 100, put him on the shelf like I did last season, see if I can take down Uber Lilith and some of the other in-game bosses. Again, still worried about the mundane in-game, and I don't think adding more in-game bosses is really going to help that. I guess we'll see here the further I get into it in the later levels. And I say that because it's fine killing new in-game bosses, you know, the first 20 times you kill them or whatever. But then after that, it almost gets into an aspect of this almost feels like a chore instead of me logging on and having fun. And that's kind of what happened with me into Season 1. You know, I was like, I got to level, I don't know, 85, 86, and it almost felt like a chore, but I wanted to get my druid to level 100. With that said, I think there is a lot they could do with the end game. I've said this in previous videos. They could really expand on PvP, and I might actually go do some PvP. I'm not a huge fan of the world PvP, just me personally, but I think they could do things like arena. They could do 1v1s, 2v2s, 3v3 teams, and even 4v4s, similar to what they did with the World of Warcraft arenas. Have arenas, have weird things in the arenas that happen. You don't doesn't even have to be like team versus team. It could be team versus um, environment or enemies, NPCs. Or you could have both those options. I mean, right there, there's 2 game modes right there they can incorporate. They could also have a capture the flag mode. That would be awesome, I think. Again, have 3v3, 4v4, have a side here, a side here. You know, just set up like capture the flag, but then don't just do a simple capture the flag. Say you can go kill monsters on the map to acquire materials, and then you can run back to your base and build like a defense, like a catapult or a corpse bow, or set traps here and there to attack your enemy. I feel like there's a lot left on the table, as I'm sure a lot of people feel that way about a lot of games. Granted, I could see some of these things happening in the future. I hope that they do more things like I'm suggesting, just different game modes. They could also do just player versus environment modes. Like, say there's a wave mode, and you get a currency for clearing 20 waves, and the more waves you clear, the harder difficulty you do it on. You get a currency, and you can go spend that currency on materials, cosmetics, mounts, mount armor, emotes. There's so much they could do, and I feel like they're just scratching the surface. Also, bring back sets. Where are the set armors? Why do we not have set pieces yet? If they need to bring sets back. Sets were always fun to gather. They had unique features and bonuses, and it was just fun acquiring those things. I don't know if they're scared that if they release sets, then legendaries and aspect powers are not going to be as sought after. That's one thing they might be concerned about, but I think sets to be good to bring back in the game. And I could be wrong. You know, if they release it and it fails, then they're going to have to group up and rethink and go from there and figure something else out. Excuse me. You know, I am having fun with the game, but I feel the end game still needs a lot of work. Other things they can do: bring back a clone of somebody. It wouldn't have to necessarily be Diablo clone. It could be a Lilith clone or a Duriel clone, whoever. And you could do that by the same way you kind of did in Diablo 2, where a Stone of Jordan drops, but instead of the Stone of Jordan actually being a ring piece that you can equip, make it be a Stone of Jordan fragment, like it's a piece of the ring that you find, and it's a unique legendary. And then you take that piece to a location on the map, put it on some sort of altar, and you summon the clone. Or have it where you sell it, and then the clone, Diablo clone, spawns wherever you're at, and just kind of drops on you, which I kind of would rather have it set up to where you go to like an altar and summon him rather than just dropping on you, because that could be detrimental to hardcore and things you're trying to get done in the game. There was one other thing. There was the Stone of Jordan, and then what? Oh yeah, and like in Diablo 2, they have all the Uber bosses, where you collect the keys and you do Uber Mephisto to get a really good item for each class, or have a chance to get a good item for each class. Do something like that where you're running around collecting keys from different things to open up portals to go to these different worlds and fight these Uber bosses. The cow level. I know there's rumored that people are working on finding the cow level. Maybe the cow level is already in, or it is in now that it's season 2. I hope they do bring a cow level about, and I hope we do see a cow level. I think that would be really cool, really fun. And yeah, I mean, I just listed off what 5 to 10 different things there that they could do to make the game have more things to do. With that said, I do want to say that in season 2, I do like the where are they? What are they called? These areas. I do like the blood harvest areas. I prefer these areas over the hell tides. I wasn't a huge fan of hell tides, but I like these because you can get things specifically for season 2, the packs that you put on your armor to activate your vampiric powers. You can also get whispers. You can find chests randomly in here that you unlock with keys that you get from this area to get you materials, items, packs, and then blood. I think they did a good job with the blood harvesters. Granted, it's not a whole ton of content, but I do think it is better than the Hell Tides. I like that world bosses spawn quicker and sooner, so you can get world bosses in more, fight more world bosses. But I believe the end game still needs work. There still needs to be more things to do as you go to get to level 100, and as well as once you get to level 100. You know, you could even do kind of like Path of Exile does, where you run around and collect. Uh, it doesn't have to be exactly like Path of Exile system, but some sort of system where you get an item or a couple items, or like I said, you find 3 keys, and you unlock like a Uber dungeon, not just an Uber boss. It's like a whole dungeon of like craziness, and you get some good rewards at the end. Like, there's just so much they can do with this game, and they need to do it. There's still people playing. There's still people that have faith. You know, there's a lot of people that do like season 2. I do like season 2, but it needs more. Just needs more. With that said, this video is getting a little lengthy. If you stopped by, I appreciate it. Please smash that like button. Please subscribe. It means the world to me. Comments seem to help a lot. Even if you just say good video or whatever you want to say. Much love. Have a good night or day wherever you're at in the world, and we will catch you on the next one.